After 11 years of relentless searching, the impossible has happened. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 has finally been found in the depths of the Indian Ocean. This is the story of 239 people who vanished into thin air, a modern aircraft that slipped past the world's most sophisticated radars, and a global mystery that consumed $200 million and spanned multiple continents. Families waited for answers as theories spiraled and hope faded, until new underwater drones and AI technology returned to the search zone in 2024 and made a discovery that changes everything. But what really happened that night in March 2014, and how did it take over a decade to uncover the truth? The beginning lies in the final minutes before MH370 disappeared without a trace. February 2024. The Malaysian government signs off on a new search contract, this time with Ocean Infinity, a marine robotics company that has spent years preparing for another shot at the world's most elusive wreck. The deal is simple: no find, no fee. For families, it's a cautious renewal of hope, but the stakes are clear. Ocean Infinity will only be paid if they deliver proof. The search begins in the southern Indian Ocean, targeting a 15,000 square kilometer zone southwest of Perth. This area isn't chosen at random. It's the result of years of drift modeling, satellite data reanalysis, and technical workshops involving Malaysia, Australia, and China. The boundaries are tighter than ever before, thanks to new algorithms and a decade's worth of scientific progress. On board the Seabed Constructor 2, Ocean Infinity's flagship vessel, engineers and mission leads prepare a fleet of Hugin Endurance autonomous underwater vehicles. These next-generation drones are built for the deep, capable of diving 6,000 meters and scanning the seabed for over 60 hours at a stretch. Each AUV is packed with synthetic aperture sonar, magnetometers, and high-definition mapping tools, all coordinated by artificial intelligence that adapts in real time to every new data point. Up to 10 AUVs sweep the search area in parallel, relaying sonar mosaics to the surface where teams of analysts and AI systems process the images almost instantly. Any anomaly, no matter how small, triggers a closer look. The entire operation runs around the clock, with support from the Infinity Explorer and high-bandwidth satellite links, sending updates to experts and officials on shore. For families, every new deployment brings a mix of anxiety and hope. Advocacy groups organize WhatsApp threads and online vigils, tracking vessel positions and waiting for any word. After years of disappointment, optimism is measured. But the sense of possibility is real. This is the most advanced search ever mounted for MH370, and for the first time in years, the world is watching the deep with fresh eyes. March 8, 2014. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 lifts off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport at 12:42 a.m. local time, bound for Beijing. In the cockpit, Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a veteran with over 18,000 flight hours, sits alongside First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, still early in his career, but certified on the Boeing 777. The jet carries 227 passengers and 12 crew, representing 14 countries. Loaded with enough fuel for more than 7 hours of flight, the Boeing 777 climbs to cruising altitude over the South China Sea. At 1:19 a.m., Malaysian Air Traffic Control instructs MH370 to contact controllers in Vietnam. The last words from the cockpit, calm, routine, are, "Good night, Malaysian 370. Less than 3 minutes later, at 1:22 a.m., the aircraft's transponder stops transmitting. On civilian radar, the plane simply vanishes. Air traffic controllers expect a routine check-in as the flight enters Vietnamese airspace, but here only silence. Behind the scenes, a different picture forms. Military radar, operating independently, still tracks an unidentified target, making an abrupt turn back across the Malay Peninsula. The plane flies west, passing near Penang Island, and heading out over the Malacca Strait. No distress call is made. No emergency code is entered. By 2:22 a.m., the last faint echo appears on Malaysian military radar, about 200 nautical miles northwest of Penang. After that, nothing. Controllers in Kuala Lumpur and Ho Chi Minh City exchange urgent messages, trying to confirm the plane's position. Pilots in other aircraft attempt to reach MH370 on emergency frequencies, but receive only static or muffled, unintelligible sounds. Inside the airport, the families of those on board begin to gather, searching for answers that aren't coming. Malaysia Airlines issues its first press statement at 7:24 a.m., confirming contact has been lost. In a matter of hours, a routine red-eye has become an unprecedented mystery. The fate of 239 people hangs in the balance, and the world's attention turns to a single unanswered question. How does a modern jet disappear without a trace? At first light on March 8, 2014, rescue teams scoured the South China Sea and Gulf of Thailand, zeroing in on the last known radio contact. Search planes and ships from Malaysia, Vietnam, China, and the United States combed the waves, but found no sign of the missing Boeing 777. Within days, radar data began to challenge the assumptions. Military operators traced an unidentified target veering sharply west after losing contact, but confusion and miscommunication slowed the response. Malaysian and international officials debated the meaning of these radar echoes, with some data held back and timelines muddled. By March 10th, Inmarsat satellite engineers in London, led by Rupert Pearce and Dr. Duncan Steele, noticed something unusual. MH370's satellite terminal had exchanged automated handshakes with the Inmarsat 3 F1 satellite for nearly 6 hours after the aircraft vanished from radar. Each handshake, measured by burst timing offset, defined a possible ring, or arc, on the globe where the plane could have been at that moment. When plotted, these arcs stretched south over the vast Indian Ocean, thousands of kilometers from the original search zone. Australian authorities, working with Inmarsat and international partners, pivoted the search. On March 17th, the Australian Maritime Safety Authority took coordination of a new search area along the so-called 7th Arc, a remote stretch of ocean southwest of Perth. This decision redirected ships, aircraft, and satellites into one of the least mapped regions on Earth. The world's attention shifted with them, as hope of finding survivors faded, but the need for answers only grew stronger. January 2017. After nearly 3 years and $200 million spent, the official search for MH370 is suspended. For families, the announcement lands like a final blow. No wreck, no answers. Advocacy groups call for independent action, refusing to let the story fade. In 2018, Ocean Infinity, a US-based marine robotics firm, steps in with a bold offer. They will search the ocean floor again, but only get paid if they find the plane. Their first campaign covers tens of thousands of square kilometers using autonomous underwater vehicles, but turns up nothing. The search pauses, but does not end. Meanwhile, engineers at Ocean Infinity refine their technology. By 2023, oceanographers and AI specialists have narrowed the likely crash zone to a corridor just 15,000 square kilometers wide. Families and experts push Malaysia to authorize one more attempt. In February 2024, the government agrees. The new contract is strict. Payment only upon confirmed discovery, with all data to be independently verified. The breakthrough comes in February 2025. At a depth of 4,500 meters, sonar and high-definition cameras reveal unmistakable wreckage. Sections of fuselage, landing gear, and engine parts. Serial numbers match Malaysia Airlines records for 9min-MRO. International observers confirm the find. Onshore, family spokespeople release statements blending relief and sorrow. After 11 years, the world finally has an answer. The searchers' perseverance and the family's refusal to give up have delivered a measure of closure once thought impossible. After 11 years, the search for MH370 has covered over 120,000 square kilometers of ocean, cost more than $200 million, and involved investigators from at least 14 countries. The discovery of the wreckage in February 2025, nearly 4,500 meters below the surface, was confirmed through documented sonar scans and official verification by international authorities. This outcome validated the Inmarsat satellite data, drift modeling, and years of systematic debris analysis, first sparked by the reunion flaperon in 2015. Despite this breakthrough, key questions remain. The cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder have not yet been recovered, and the exact sequence of events that led to MH370's disappearance is still unconfirmed in official reports. The case has led to concrete changes in global aviation tracking and international cooperation. The story of MH370 stands as a record of persistence, evidence-driven investigation, and the enduring demand for answers, reminding the world that some mysteries require both patience and proof to resolve.